forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based.
Hi Mario, how are you?
Good. How are you, Ranjeet?
Wonderful. So nice to see you. So what do we have today, Mario?
Yeah, absolutely. So our first question comes from an anonymous user from our Q&A webinar, and they ask, how am I able to show being a startup advisor?
Startup advisor. Well, one of the things that this is major for critical role actually. This particular question, this would be for a critical role. And if possible, that if you have got some equity investments, you can try to show that as an award also actually. There was a policy update couple of years back actually, which did speak about this. So that's the best way to go forward.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. So our next question is going to be from an anonymous user. They ask, how important is having a cohesive professional narrative across the different EB-1A criteria rather than treating each criterion independently?
This is one of the most important questions, I would say that actually, because the currency of your petition is always your expertise. So it is very important that we have a cohesive narrative across different criteria, and you don't have to kind of look at each criteria as a distinct items actually. You have to look at it as a collective whole. That's the best way to look forward for that. Every criteria should have a common expertise which runs across the criterias. Number two, that expertise should show that you have risen to the top and how you have risen to the top of the field of expertise, and how US will benefit out of it, and that will continue in the field of expertise. These are the only three ways by which how a cohesion and the wholeness of the entire petition that gets established. So number one is wholeness is very important. Number two is the currency of the petition is your expertise. And last but not the least, there needs to be a consistency all across actually. So these are the three ways what I would say that.
Yeah, absolutely. So our next question, they ask, I've been working on my profile steady for EB-1A for over the past 8 months. So my question is, at what point should someone stop focusing on building additional credentials and begin focusing on how their existing accomplishments are documented and presented in the petition?
I would rather say that documentation has to be concurrent actually. It cannot be, oh, I have finished my profile, so let's do that. So I think we all keep mails, we all keep a proper record. So your record keeping should be up to date actually. So that's the first and the foremost thing. Now the second part of the question is that at what point do you feel that go to an expert, go to an attorney, go to an EB-1A consultant who can help you out, and definitely I think that's the right way to look at it actually, rather than just trying to push yourself into continuity of doing things. So that is one way, because your learning, your activity of doing things should be, you don't do activities and initiative because you want EB-1A actually. You do it because you have a passion to do things. So that's the way I would like to look at it.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah, absolutely. So our next question, they ask, how does the USCIS evaluate the significance of someone's work when they operate in a highly specialized or niche field? Can this strengthen their petition or have harm as the field is small?
You see, please remember, the field is never small actually, and the field is never small. The USCIS would look at it from the impact of that particular work that you have done. Let's say, for example, if somebody in 2008 or 2009 would be responsible for understanding blockchains, the field might have been very kind of small at that particular moment of time. That expertise may be very small, but the key point is that whether that expertise has a potency to become a field by itself in the future. Somebody was if somebody is responsible for data transfer, a small kind of a non-existing field, I would say that in 1960s or 1970s, remember there used to be a big data banks of size of a room actually. 1 GB or 2 GB would be size of a room, and somebody is responsible for transferring data. Today that entire data transfer ecosystem has translated itself into a complete internet where everything is connected today actually. Now how do you you have to have that kind of a vision. So it's not about the field being small. Somebody could be a nanotechnologist. Once upon a time that was a very small field. Today it has taken shape into nano robots and other things actually. So basically it all depends on the impact that you are creating, not the field by itself. It's a very valid question, I would say that, but a very important one as well actually. I hope this makes sense.
Absolutely. So our next question is, how important is demonstrating impact beyond your immediate organization when developing an EB-1A case?
I think it is the most important actually. Please appreciate you don't get EB-1A because you are an asset to an organization, but you have an asset to the entire US actually, or to the entire world, or to the entire field. That is more important. You are not working solely while you may be employed with the company, you are working for the entire field. I think that's the kind of a your organization may be a conduit to do things. Please appreciate that. But the key part here is that it needs to have a kind of a potency to expand. Ripples across your work should be expanded far beyond your organization into the field, into the industry, into the field, into the country as a whole, into the improving the lives of people. I think that's very important actually. Much beyond your competitors, and in fact much beyond your competitors also actually.
No, I definitely agree with you on that one. So these next couple of questions, they asked, hi Ranjeet, my question is, when reviewing someone's profile for the first time, what signals tell you they may have a strong foundation for EB-1A, even if they don't realize it themselves? So a little background, I currently have 20 plus years of experience in the tech field. And for the past 8, I've been focusing on AI machine learning. Would this snapshot of my profile give enough signs to try for EB-1A?
Well, there are two aspects to it, whether one is good for EB-1A and second is whether one is good for the next week program. And I would like to kind of make it very clear about it. And if somebody is interested to kind of be participative in this kind of session or want your questions to be taken up, we'll be more than happy to help you out actually here. So number one is that strong foundation for EB-1A is manifested by performance of your work at times. It is it amounts to excavation at times actually. You have to kind of, like in archaeology, you have to dig out your, because we are trained to think that we are important to the company and the important to the work of the company, and you are a great asset to the company. But how to make sure that you are good for an EB-1A profile? We basically kind of look at it from a perspective that, for example, in your case, you are saying that you have 20 years of experience in the tech field, and so I mean, what data I would need more is approximately how much are you earning. So let's say, for example, you are earning around 200K. It basically would mean that, your average salary for the last 20 years could potentially, on a present value of money, could be around 150K. It essentially means that you have earned around $3 million in totality till date actually so far, in cumulatively. Somebody paying you an X amount would have expected a 20X of return. It means you already have a $60 million of impact as on today's date. We are looking how to kind of leverage that impact and look at it from the lens of the criteria is going to be more important. We have seen people who have kind of started off with, you are already in a specialized occupation. Most of the people here are on H1B. So somebody who has had a $20 million impact or a $30 million impact, many people don't realize that they are much closer to EB-1A, especially people who are on H1B or who are on EB-2, I-140 already approved. that they can achieve their EB-1A by virtue of, they're doing the right things in a right way actually. So we try to this is the way how I would like to assess from an EB-1A perspective. As far as the program is concerned, we see a professional standards of a person in terms of how does this LinkedIn profile looks like and etc. Number two would be whether the person is ready to commit X amount of time per week, which is around 10 to 15 hours, and whether the person is coachable or not actually. Is a person willing to learn new things, unlearn his old habits and old things? And we have seen somebody who is 26-year-old or somebody who is 30-year-old or even 50-year-old, they have been able to successfully navigate through the entire process actually. So I think I think don't try to judge yourself in this particular situation. I think you need to I think AI and machine learning is a new field. Please reach out to Mario, or I actually will be more than happy to look at your profile and give you a very candid opinion and feedback once more details are available to us. And let's take the last question for the day.
Yeah, absolutely. So this one actually just came in from some messaging that I went through yesterday, but they asked if someone currently has an EB-2 or EB-3 priority date, what factors should they consider when deciding whether exploring EB-1A makes sense rather than simply waiting for their priority date to become current? So I know with the backlog and everything that's going on with EB-2 and EB-3, I think it's a very valid question to ask.
Yes, but also let's understand that what's your priority date. First and the foremost thing that you should check it out actually, that what's your priority date. Now,
so I do have that information if you'd be happy to share it.
Yeah.
So their current priority date is March 2016.
Yeah. So for Indians. Yeah. So current priority date is for March 16. Typically for it to become March 17, it will take 3 to 4 years. Now, do you have a patience to wait for that much time is the whole question actually here. Now, if you want to wait, well, it's your choice, but I personally feel from a philosophical perspective, I would say that it's your responsibility to yourself, to your family, and to yourself actually, to help use this opportunity to become the best version of yourself, because EB-1A helps you to do that, and I think you should apply actually. That's what I would like to say that. So rather than merely waiting, but if you are already at let us say September 2016 or something like this, then this may not, waiting could be much more productive and you can utilize your time and you are learning for a better purpose. I would say that. But yes, if it is more than a year, I think one should go for it. I would say that. Okay. Now that's all I have to say, friends, and it has been kind of wonderful having these questions, especially the last question. It is very important because where I could say that you have a responsibility towards yourself to make things happen, and please do it. And if you want to join the program or reach out to us, please don't hesitate, and wish you all the best. Thank you for joining us today. If you have any further questions or need personalized guidance, please reach out to us. We are here to help you every step of the way in your journey towards achieving your American dream. Let's connect and make it happen together.